Okay, let's finally do this. After a million things. The leader demands the master part with some of his considerable wealth, or, well, I'll just tell you they call her the Reaper. Ha, I'm the Reaper, bitch. And I'll leave the rest to your imagination. We don't intend to acquiesce to these churlish demands without a fight, and a stout arm by our side would go far to ensure our survival. Your arm, perhaps? In case the opportunity to perform a good deed isn't enticement enough, please be reminded that my master possesses considerable wealth. If you would aid us, come with haste to the Sapphire Avenue Exchange, where we might our stand against these brutes. Ah, you! I know why you're here. And if you may lay a finger on my coin purse, you'll have to pry it out of my cold, lifeless master. He's a friend. This adventurer has agreed to help. We'll show the Reaper what her empty intimidations are worth. Oh shit, it is auto-rolling. Oh, I think that was me. I had it on. Ah, I see. My apologies, sir. Temptations have been high of late. I'm sure you can understand. For reasons that elude me, these Lemures have made my life a waking nightmare. Sight unseen, they have demanded I begin paying them for the luxury of my own life. Rumors abound of their origin. Some say they're... I don't know. Of some barbaric nation. They flaunt our laws and threaten their betters with impunity. I can't speak. I'm sorry. I've been waiting in queue for too long. My brain is frazzled. They're led by a dead-eyed killer who draws her scythe at the smallest slight, refuse their payments of coin, and she'll take her share of your lifeblood instead. Rubbish, I say. The Reaper is naught but a toothless bandit. Hey, again, I'm the Reaper. I've been the Reaper for like 3 years, 4 years. Interesting theory you have there. Care to test it? You're the Reaper. Oh, You're a perceptive one, aren't you? Suppose that's how you came to be in possession of so many shiny things. And what do you have here? Hiring more help while our ledgers remain unbalanced? You wouldn't be trying to wriggle your way out of paying us for a job well done, would you? Yeah. My, how do you keep the lies straight? You didn't tell your hired muscle here what great friends we were? So great, in fact, that you trusted none other than me and mine to put the scare into your competition? A job we're happy to do. You can't... A job we were happy to do. You can't find your fortune in this fair city without stepping over a few bodies along the way. After all. But as flexible as our morals are, I'm afraid without the coin to bend them, we only have one recourse. Unless... Yeah, I'm pretty Reaper material. I don't blame you for eyeing me up. I'm ready. I was born for this. One does wonder how you found yourself with a bodyguard of such uncommon metal. Aye, not an ounce of fear in that gaze, and not a mote of puffed-up arrogance either. This lad, my dear Jinyo, is the genuine article. He has what we in the mercenary trade call the killer instinct. Hey, I have that on Beastmaster in 11. How's this? For the sake of our long-standing friendship, I'll make it simple, and allow me to take this adventure off your hands, and the debt is forgiven. What? That's all? And believe me, I believe this is what them in your trade call a bargain. As for you, adventurer, It seems you've been made a free agent. But if you're still inclined to put those instincts of yours to use, come and visit our headquarters in Pearl Lane. The door is open. I'm very happy right now. The day is finally here. I can be a true Reaper. Boss, the guest of honor has arrived. The savior of Alamigo and Doma deigns to appear before me. I have heard all about you. It's hard not to in this line of work. Or it's hard not. Yeah. The stories paint you as as ferocity incarnate, a force of nature few have survived. Peace, friend. I've no desire to put the killer to the proof personally. I don't have a death wish. You can call me Drusilla? I'm a Reaper, one of many, and the leader of this little family here. That's why I invited you into our home. Drusilla. I'm gonna have to remember that. There's a job I'd like you to take care of for me. Can I have that scythe? Now, you don't have to worry about the virtuous heart of yours, huh? I wouldn't ask you to do so much as bend the law. This job is purely for the benefit of your fellow man. All you have to do is kill one for me. Though perhaps kill isn't the right word, seeing as he's already dead. Don't look so surprised. I know you've seen The Walking Dead. Yes, I have. Not the show, but actual undead. This time you'd be against a void scent, come here to unleash its singular brand of wickedness upon the world. It won't be an easy task. The evil driving this monster is black as the void and near as deep. Countless souls have succumbed to its hunger. Worthy prey for one inclined to heroics, don't you think? You can't face it as you are, though. Storied as your strength may be, I'll need to train you in techniques. Techniques that'll let you pierce the void and slaughter its kin. I don't know, I feel I'm pretty good at that already. I've killed Diablos. God of Darkness. Keep talking. Yep, she's a Garlean, I figured. Don't see many Garleans in Ul'dah, do you? Let alone one as savage as this. Save your startled gasps. I'm not out of surprises yet. I ain't startled. Hold out your hand to the crystal here. If you're made of the stuff I think you are, then you're in for a treat. Oh boy, am I. Hi there. That's it. I knew you had what it takes. This'd be an avatar, a manifestation of your essence and the Stygian power of the Void Scent on the other side. A Void Scent to which, if you so choose, you will bind to yourself. Okay, there we go. I can't words. You'll gain skills unlike anything you've ever known, skills that allow people like me to operate in the shadows and kill those that need killing since time immemorial. And your first assignment, should you walk this path, is to use the power of one void sin against another for the betterment of the realm. Your reward will be the wisdom of countless generations of Garlean assassins. Gibby. But if siding with my kind makes your stomach churn, shit. If they thought if one foot inside this forest makes Bill. God, stop! Why are you going so quick? Okay. However, if you've none the aforementioned objections, then you don't mind walking knife's edge twixt life and death, then you'll have the tools to see your justice done, and done right every time. This is the choice you must make, and soon, every moment our quarry stalks the land is another opportunity for it to do harm. Hells yeah! I am a dancer, though. That was my main. So I can't choose that. Very good. Then let's not waste time. Take up this crystal and attest to both worlds that you can walk as a Reaper. Bind yourself to the void and claim the strength that the weak of heart shun. That your avatar, through your avatar, at your side, does the void's... Can't speak. Okay. Through the avatar at your side does the void set bring its power to bear, feeding upon the souls of the fiends you cut down in return. Not a bad arrangement, eh? But I'm sure you tire of words. Here, a traditional weapon of our order. Let's see how it looks strapped to your back. Weepa! Unlocked. How do you find the way to the scythe in your hands? Pleasing, I hope. Now that we have a bit more in common, it's time we became better acquainted. What's the name of our newest Reaper? Ruckzeed. Correct. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue. But so it is with the Arisian names. With every new one I learn, more is forgotten. You're asking to replace the Lalafell. After our little conversation, I think could give us a wide berth. Any road, we've more worthwhile concerns than that shifty merchant, namely getting you conversed well and proper in the tricks of our trade, and the best way to do that is through battle. One of our family is having trouble, and a particularly vexing fiend, and sent word asking for help. Goes by the name of Arnegus? Arnegus? I'm just gonna call him Argonus. And he's stationed near Cutter's Cry. Not much of a fighter, but he's got a keen mind for trade and can find a needle in a haystack, if that need be. We'd best hurry up before he ends up at the bottom of some monster's gullet. Trying to put your new skills to good use, crack. Oh boy! Archon loaf. Alright, let's get this. easy prey. Yep. Wait. Hold up. Have I been doing it backwards this whole time? I have. I'm an idiot. I can't believe I've done 2 runs of Holminster Switch and I've had my hotbar backwards. I'm a fucking moron. What's up? I knew there was something about you, but truth be told, I didn't expect you to learn. I expect you to make such clean work of that Chimera. I reckon even I might have been hard-pressed to match that display. I don't tell it when I see it, boss. And with that, this really will flow once more. Or you know tell it when you see it, boss. Among his many roles, Arnigus is a merchant of sorts. He sells ceruleum at the price that would make those guild pinchers at the Amalja bulk, but still turns a pretty profit. We can barely keep up with the demand, despite the occasional beast or two. But a new affair. I think I should just stop. I'm so tired. All thanks to you, boss, and our countrymen up north, of course. Here's to getting back to business as usual. Peace. Ceruleum ain't easy to come by, as you well know. Amagina and Sons protects their monopoly with a gilded fists, but they've yet to force the Imperial stragglers up north out of market. Now, before you go run after the flames, let me assure you that this arrangement is entirely above board. Selling goods to Imperials is forbidden by law, but there's nary a word about buying it for them. As you know, Arisians like to call Garleans by all sorts of colorful names: bastards, tyrants, invaders, and we've got all those and worse. Hey, my best friend is a Garlean. Like, come on. But while many a foul deed has been committed under the glory of the Empire, we ain't megalomaniacs to a man. Even amongst the purebloods, those that serve don't always do so by choice. Could be argued we're all casualties of the great Machina's ambition. No small number of the Empire's troops return home in a heartbeat if they could. But the world being what it is, most settle for sending their family what a few coins they can afford to part with. Most Eorzeans wouldn't suffer a whit of color to complicate their black and white view, but if you're going to fight with us, you should learn the truth of our past. I really wish these were voiced, but I know they never are. Long ago, long before the Empire, our forebears lived in Locus Amoenus? Locus Amoenus? Lucas. Down to the southern interval, Ilsabard. With temperate climates and fertile earth the land provided, many of us were but simple farmers harvesting abundant crops with the self-same size the reapers would eventually wield. But gifts are ever the object of envy. When not tilling the fields, our ancestors were forced to defend them with... Every year they yielded a few more elms, and some 800 years ago they were driven out of their place completely. They fled north to the frozen region that would become Garlemald. Even there, they fought tooth and nail for the scant resources of that frigid land. From the fires of hardship were the first match-tech devices forged, and with innovation upon innovation, that humble group of farmers grew into an insatiable empire. But before that miraculous twist of fate, we were a dying breed, bereft not only of magic but hope itself. With no natural advantages to speak of, our mere survival was in question. And then the botanists chose violence. From harsh necessity were reapers born. We turned our tools to weapons and struck a bargain with the whispers in the dark. With the Void's power, we could strike at an army's beating heart, slay their generals, and throw their rank and file into disarray. Our way to end the battles before the sparks Our way is to end battles before the sparks catch, to sacrifice the one for the many, to keep avaricious hands away from family, friends, and lovers, and now this power belongs to you. Remember our story. Remember what drives a man to turn to the void, and you will not be led unto deeper temptations. Our work here is done. I'll see you back at headquarters. Even though I just apparently started walking with it. So, for your first starting, you did good. I think you earned the right to know just who this lot you've thrown yourself into is. You might have gathered this yourself, but the Lemurs are formed to support those Garleans who live in exile. It ain't easy to be far from home, let alone in a place where most would sooner gut you than offer a helping hand. Often the only place to make a living is in the shadowy corners that lie outside the watchful gaze of the law. Now, I don't expect you to embrace us like brothers and sisters straight away, but know this, I do expect you to apply yourself to this job. In the meantime, I'll be working with the family to ascertain the whereabouts of our prey. I expect that scythe to be like an extension of your body when we next speak. Okay, I still got one level. Ah, there you are. Looking deadly enough at that scythe to make me weak at the knees. I'll pass, but thank you. I'd wager it's time to stop faffing about and made ready to hunt our next target. My lemures have been hard at work scrapping together what information they can. Let's see what they've got. Everyone here? Good. Arnigus? I forget how to I forget how I decide to pronounce it every time he shows up. Arnigus, you've met. No further Chimera-related incidents you'll be happy to hear. The overly chipper lass over there is Herman. Make your acquaintances. Make your acquaintances? Yeah, right. As you know, our quarry are void sent, and he goes by the name of Orcus. He's looted the best, but there are two... But these two are a step above that. Tell us what you found. Wait, haven't we fought Orcus before? Or is that the Antlion and Stormblood that I'm thinking of? By your will, boss, I asked around about unsolved murders and disappearances, seeing if any involved someone matching the description you provided. There's as many missing people as there are grains of sand, and no shortage of tragedies either. One, however, stood out amongst the rest. A woodcutter in the Black Shroud disappeared without a trace. No body, no belongings, nothing. An odd enough occurrence by itself, but the sightings of a stranger with pale skin as snow. An odd enough occurrence by itself, but the sightings of a stranger with skin pale as snow near his last whereabouts piqued our interest. Now that's a promising start. But those woods are crawling with bandits and brigands of all sorts. Duskwrights and keepers are said to come in ghostly hues. Are we sure this man is not one of them? As sure as I've ever been, boss. Not many bandits have eyes the color of blood. It's a match too close to ignore. I can't gainsay that. We have a lead. If I may, boss, are you sure we need the help of this outsider? How much trouble could one void scent be? Herman, he's standing right here, for God's sakes. No, she's right. I've told you at every turn... I've told you to turn a wary eye to those outside the family. She's just doing her due diligence. But trust me when I say we need every advantage we can afford. I made the mistake of misjudging Orcus' strength before, and for my hubris, my family, my flesh and blood family, was slain. All of them. I was planning on holding back a bit longer, but 'twas before the Lemures, I swore two things. I'd repay that suffering 1,000-fold, and I'd never let that bastard take anything from me again. I mean to keep my vow, and I trust you can keep... I trust I can count on you to help. You don't have to ask me twice, boss. Your wounds are our wounds, even the ones that became scars. We'll see your vengeance rot. All these years I've scrapped to make a place for us. I look forward to the day he'd pay us his dues. And it ain't just for me that we have to hunt him down either. He's a blight on Eorzea itself, and the longer we let it fester, the more suffering it'll spread. We need to corner him now, while we still have the chance. Are you ready, Kruk? You know those woods as well as any of us, and we'll need your experience if we hope to get back before supper. Much appreciated. Alright, let's get to it then. Herman, I want you here in Ul'dah keeping your ear to the ground for any news of Orcus' movements. I'm just gonna call him Arnie. Arnie, you lead us to where the woodcutter disappeared. By your will, boss. That'd be Central Shroud, so the best course would be to set off from Bent Branch Meadows. I'm still not used to that new jingle. I'm still used to... Arnie and Drusilla. Or Drusilla. As I've heard, he disappeared in night on a week ago. Got lost some sunrise, but he was a sudden wizard. Got lost some sunrise, but he was a seasoned woodsman, not some highborn traveler who forgot to buy him a map. I questioned those closest to him, and none could think of a reason he might have wanted to make himself scarce. He'd even made plans to meet with friends not long before, but I expect that promise will go unkept. Sounds like we can roll out a voluntary departure. I believe we can. The last person to see the man alive said he took his axe and ventured northwest. And that's where we'll set up our trap. That's where we'll set our trap up. Let's trap. Trap. Here, Craft, take these. A Magitech transceiver and a candle that's scented like a Voidson's favorite, Liberation. Libition? I can't. Once it's fit and the fumes are wafted through the air, every void scent within 30 miles will come running. If either of us sees Orcus, we'll give the other a shout over the transceiver. As I said before, Orcus is inhabiting the body of a man, and he can put on an awfully convincing performance when needs must. Don't give him a chance to work his wiles, or his fangs will be in your neck before you know it. As much as I want to accompany you, I'd only be a liability in a fight. Whether you find Orcus or not, return here and I'll report back to the Lemures. Good luck and good hunting. Blood-scented candles. Drawn by the maleficent odor, a void scent rises from the underbrush. Though it bears no resemblance to Orcus, it eyes you with voracious hunger. Glad to see you in one piece. Now, what's that you have in your hand? Oops, sorry. I just wanted to read that real quick. This ring is colored red with blood, although whose remains uncertain. Okay. You said a void set was carrying this? That ring, where'd you find it? I see, and there can be no doubt. The void scent Cruxley was the very same one that murdered our woodcutter. Murdered? Are you saying? Aye. While I was searching for a place to set up my trap, I spotted a shallow grave, hastily dug and poorly hidden. Under a thin layer of dirt was a body matching description of the woodcutter, a wholly nondescript fellow save for the mark of a ring removed from his finger. Doubtless the ring was his demise. Shiny bubbles are common fixation for void scent. Probably didn't spare a thought to the owner, only the prize. I suppose we can take comfort in the knowledge that it'll harm no one else. Orcus or not, I'd say this expedition was successful after a fashion. I should apprise the whalers of what's transpired. You two catch some well-earned rest. Thank you kindly, Arnie. Well then, I'll see you back at headquarters. Something about Arnie doesn't seem right to me. Maybe we didn't get the satisfaction I promised, but sitting here with our heads in our hands won't do us any good. Let's be happy with one less void scent preying on helpless woodcutters. The only good void scent is a dead void scent, says the person who's been having a little succubus follow him the entire time and rides an Ahriman. Here, here, nothing comes from their endless hunger for aether or bloodshed and tragedy. But bloodshed and tragedy. Tragedy. Did I mention I'm tired? We were on the cusp of ending 2 decades of misery. That's how long ago Orcus came to this world, raging like an animal free from his cage, and leaving my family dead in his wake. The grief he's caused since then is immeasurable. No matter where his accursed feet take him, his hunger follows, and the realm bleeds to sate it. Of course, we aren't the only ones hunting him, but he's as clever as he is vicious, and not even the finest trackers have been able to keep on his trail for long. Don't lose heart yet, boss. While you were away, I was making the rounds, and I might have found something that'll soon bear fruit. Arnie is following up on it as we speak. I swear someday that man's going to keel over on my account. Still, there's no one else I'd trust to tell me the difference between truth and hysteria. That being said, his work takes time to do right. Use this chance to hone your skills, and if all goes to plan, next time we speak, you'll have a golden opportunity to test them. I think the Arnie is Orcus. This is just a random theory. He seems way too good at his job. And they keep emphasizing how amazing he is at finding leads and shit. So maybe he's... I don't know. It's just the way I see it. Dark days. Drusilla is waiting on word from Arnie. I still think he's Orcus. Apologies, Clark, but we're still waiting on Arnie to come through. There's not much for you to do around here until then, unless you have a knack for cleaning. Herman is good at wheedling out promising stories and whatnot, but getting to the truth of those stories is a craft as delicate as weaving. I'm sure you've seen firsthand how one bad bit of information can lead to elaborate plans coming apart at the seams. Boss! Boss! Calm down, lad. Breathe. What's gotten into you? It's Arnie. He's been murdered. What? Tell me I heard that wrong. I'm afraid not. The breastplates found him half buried in the sand not bells ago. Just lying there like some bloody animal carcass. They're bringing him to the burial chamber as we speak. I guess he's not. Whoever did this doesn't know the reckoning they've got coming. Before I'm done with them, they'll be begging to crawl back into their mother's womb. I want justice just as much as you, Herman. I do, but at times like this, we need to look to the boss for guidance. As you can see, Brock, emotions are running high. I just stay here until Herman cools off. Can you let the boss know we're standing by and waiting for her command? It's not like she's gone to pay her respects. I read that wrong. Like as not, she's gone to pay her respects. Okay. I know exactly where the burial chamber is, because this is where I thought Reaper was going to start before they announced it. Sorry, Croc. I ain't in the mood for chit-chat. It's a good thing I don't really talk, I just nod. Where's the bloody keeper? My lady, prithee, the dead must be left to rest. The dead going to have one more among them if you don't shut your yap and listen. The brass blades brought in a body not long ago. Show it to me. Yes, that they did, but are you the deceased family? If not, I'm afraid we cannot. Family? Family? Arnie was like a son to me. Like a son? Ordinarily that would be, He is interred in the innermost coffin. However, I must advise you not to gaze upon the body. Meta, if she insists, then so be it. God damn it, Arnie. I told you not to go and get yourself. Don't, Krek. This isn't for you. I'm sorry for barging in here for all the bluster. If you can forgive my rudeness, promise me that Arnie gets the send-off well and proper. Of course he shall be. However, if you wish to enter him within the city's gates, well, such sought-after space comes at no small expense. I don't care at what cost. Just send your man to the Lemir's headquarters to collect what you require. Crook, I appreciate you coming to find me, but there's someone else I have to speak with first. I'm heading to Stone's Throw. Come along if you please, but come along in silence. That's one thing I'm good at. This is where Arnie's dear wife earns her living. Best get it over with. Or, I guess best get this over with. Got a hair in my eye, I think. Something in my eye, at least. She reacted fast. Must have just walked and was like, oh, yeah, he's dead. Bye. Arnie never forgot a debt he owed. The debt he owed you. The debt we both owed you. Even so, his loyalty ran deeper than that. It's a strange thing to look back on the people we were. A decade younger and a lifetime more foolish. Young lovers, proud patriots. Blissfully ignorant, returning to Lacus Blah, the cradle of our people. A triumphant homecoming for the Garlands after centuries of exile. The once mighty invaders that had been laid low and driven back whence they came, and it was the banner day where Arnie was honored with the post there. The honor and pride quickly faded when we saw the true of Lacus Blah. We hadn't just defeated Artemis, we had clapped them in irons and condemned them to a life of servitude. Descendants of those who had driven us ancestors north after so many generations ago, made to pay for the crimes of their forebears. His superiors were certainly pleased with the poetry of it all. Arnie, however, could not simply look away from their suffering, let alone take pleasure in it. Confronted with the reality of the place we would call home, his conscience demanded he take action. Sorry. He began cooperating with the resistance, but the eyes of the Frumentarum are all-seeing, and before long he was asked as a sympathizer. 'Twas only by the grace of good fortune we escaped with our lives. I've often lain awake at night wondering if he had outlived his usefulness to the resistance, or perhaps it was a petty senior officer that orchestrated our fall. Regardless of the cause, the outcome was the same. We could never return to the Empire. We fled to Eorzea by way of Razathan, the only route open to us. It wasn't soon after stepping foot on the docks of Limsa, Limsa Lominsa, that your luck ran out, as I recall, stopped by the Yellow Jackets and accused of being Imperial spies. Aye, but we still managed to make an escape. We ran and ran, terrified that our pursuers would one day catch up with us. To us. That is, until we met you. Had you not taken us under your wing, when you did, I shudder to imagine our fate. Your gratitude is the last thing I deserve, lass. If I hadn't sent Arnie off on my damned fool's errand, he'd still be alive. It was Orcus that killed him, and no mistake. He died for my vengeance. I can't tell you how sorry I am. No, you needn't apologize. I know he was happy. So long as he was helping you, he was happy. The blame for his death doesn't rest on your shoulders. It rests on the monster that murdered him in cold blood, and I expect you to see the answers. See he answers for his crimes, for me and for Arnie. I will, lass, I will. On this I swear everything I have to swear. We need to talk, Crook. Somewhere with fewer prying eyes. Come meet me at the bridge to the north. I am Orcus. No, I'm joking. That bridge, okay. Whew. Getting tired. I'm not stopping till I hit 80. At least. I'd like to continue with the story, too. Or start the story, rather. I owe you an apology, Crook. For not telling you everything about being Orcus from the start. I dragged you into a fight against the foe that's cunning, brutal, and utterly merciless. I thought with all of us together, we'd tip the scales in our favor. Oh, you have. You just don't know it yet. But I was wrong, and Arnie paid the price for my hubris. That void scent we tracked in the Black Shot was likely one of Orcus's minions, but I was too caught up in my grand scheme to realize it at the time. I love the frickin' I know it's from the Void Arc stuff. I love the music. I should have thought about why he tried to hide that body. Your common void scent wouldn't have the guile to bury a kill. But what if Orcus taught it that as a way to fear trackers off its scent, and to dangle bait for me and mine? I want this version for my house. This song. Orcus has used the same trick in the past, and he knows that we know it too. By dispatching his minions, we drew his attention. Arnie was a warning. Orcus doesn't give his prey swift deaths. He toys with them, cuts them up, and savors their screams. That's how I knew he was responsible. It's like a signature, the way he leaves the bodies when he's had his fill. I only pray Arnie doesn't take that suffering with him into the next life. Orcus will be coming for you or me next. Not right away, though. That'd be giving up the game. He wants us to keep looking over our shoulders, sleeping with one eye open. He'll wear us down without even lifting a finger. It's a good thing I sleep with both my eyes open. And when he finally strikes, we'll be dead on our feet, playthings for him to do as he pleases. That won't do. We need to bring the fight to him. No more waiting around for a lead to come to us. It won't be easy, but can I still count on your help? Damn right. Thank you, Crook. And if you've no qualm risking your life and limb to fight for Arnie, to fight for me, then I've got no qualm calling you a member of my family. Grandmother get. Family. A curious word, that. He's enshrouded. Bloody. It's him, or it's Orcus. Some persistent rats are nibbling at my tail. I should have known by their stench that it was you and yours, Drusilla. Drusilla? Or should I call you... granddaughter? Shut your mouth, you thrice damned monster. Monster? Is that any way to greet a beloved elder? Children these days. And apparently great-great-grandfather get, too. It seems one death wasn't punishment enough for you. The second should suffice for this scant reminder of your being. Bring it on, motherfucker! Crap, we're into this here and now. Follow my lead. He's not gonna let us. And I thought we might save our reunion for a while longer. But if you insist, I shall feast upon your beating heart here and now. Die! Not but dregs left in that desecrated vessel of yours. Oh. Desiccated vessel of yours. Too long has the hide been left in the sun. But your family has been replenished with fresh blood, I see. Come at me, bro. My, what a bounteous soul this one is. Or this one has. Your scythe may be dull, but your eyes are sharp as ever. Blinding as the sun, pure as the snow. Hehehe. Wait. Why so fast? I can't read that quickly. And here I thought to make a quick meal of you, but perhaps just this once, forbearance is in order. Dun, 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 dun. Such a singular specimen must be given time to fatten, to fulfill its succulent potential. It would be a travesty to consume you as you are. Consume you ere you achieve perfection. When your soul is ripe with fear, swollen with hatred, and fit to burst with despair, I shall return for you, Crook, and I shall gorge. Yeah, nah. You see, buddy, that's the thing is, I don't fear. I am the fear. Until that time, sup well, my growing whelp. What's up? Blitz Kaiser's about to run. Curse these old bones. He was right in front of me. I could have ended it in one swing. For a moment, just a moment, I saw it all again. My family slaughtered, lying at my feet. My life slipping away, and that was enough. Doubtless you have more than a few questions. I'll answer them, I promise, but now is not the time. Trust me. Standing around, kick in the sand won't change what's done. Let's return to headquarters, and let the wind cool our heads. Then we consider our next course of action. It was my own fault. If I hadn't stood there slack-jawed, if I wasn't so damn slow, we'd be rid of that abomination once and for all. What you saw used to be my grandfather before Orcus took over. He looks green enough to be my own... green enough to be my own grandchild now. Trick of the Void like as not. It's no secret that if a Void set doesn't want to devour you, it probably wants to take possession of your flesh. But Orcus has a particular talent for it. And as you doubtless surmise, he's got an insatiable craving for ether. Killing is only a prelude to the act of gulping down our essence. Like a draught of ale after a day's work. He's old. I can't exactly say how old. I can't say exactly how old. But he's acquired a taste for the finer things. Seems your soul counts among the finest he's ever seen. Things just keep getting better and better, don't they? Wouldn't be the first time someone set their sights on my soul. Is that so? Used to be in the prize pig, are we? Anyway, it's clear that safety is no longer something we can take for granted. Not even in the crowded streets, not even in the middle of the day. Keep your eyes peeled, and watch out for those terrible red eyes. We're sitting chocobos for the moment, but I'll think of something and send for you as soon as I can. Until then, never sleep far from your scythe. Bitch, the second you gave me this scythe, I already decided I'd never let it go. Thicker than blood. Drusilla seems relieved to see you walk through her door unscathed. Gotta see Orcus hasn't sunk his teeth into you yet, Croc. Don't go thinking he's given up on trying, though. He's out there savoring you from a distance. Can't resist checking in on his prize, just as he can't resist seeking out morsels to tide him over till his feast. The reports we've received of a man pale as death skulking in the sands is proof of that. Sorry, I'm so tired, I'm having a hard time even seeing the words on the screen. This might help. And then there's the matter of this blunted dagger. We don't know who sent it, but we do know what it means. It's a warning commonly used by less savory elements in Ul'dah, a warning that the next will be delivered sharp and straight in our bellies. More fool them. They have no notion of what we've faced and lived, thinking we'd soil our small clothes over empty threats. Let's hope it's nothing more than that, lass. Seeing as we need to follow up on the report sooner than later. Anyone fancy a bit of fresh air? If we catch a whiff of Orcus's foul stench, all the better. Croc, I want you to ask around near Blackbrush Station, and I'll head to Stone's Throw. When you're done, meet me there, and we'll share what we've dug up. I recognize that self-assured stride. The mark of a man who's ready to take on the world and then some. You must be the Eorzean Reaper the boss sent word about. I'm almost disappointed to tell you that nothing is amiss. The soldier in me would love to see a Reaper in action. I once fought in the Imperial Army, though you wouldn't think it to look at me now. I served proudly under Lord Valens in my youth until the day he ordered us to use common folk as fodder. In some pointless skirmish, I refused and was sentenced to death for my candor. Needless to say, I didn't keep that appointment. Valens, that's the one for the Emerald from the Weapon series. Is that not correct? I think so. Compared to that evil, toothless threats and ghosts are no bother. But the less jaded are the more excitable. One lass in particular has been jumping at shadows. She claims to have seen all manners of terror, but I suspect she'd be startled by her own reflection. Still, if you want to lend an ear to her delusions, you can find her in Lost Hope. Elegant woman. Ah, oh, hello. Who are you? Oh, Drusilla? Why am I having such a hard time pronouncing names? Did Drusilla receive my message? She sent someone to rid us of the terrible evil waiting in the wings? Truly, she cares for us all as if we were her flesh and blood, which is more than I can say about my own. Not once have I longed to return to the life of comfort I left behind in Garlemald, and I have Drusilla to thank. She isn't the reason I left home in the first place, of course. Had I not met my beloved, I would surely be feasting on lemon cakes in ignorance. In ignorance of love and freedom. Of freedom. I found the former in Garlemald, and the latter in Eorzea. As our new life blossomed to something beautiful. Not every day has been easy, Not even most days, but Drusilla's watchful eyes kept us safe, and our freedom is worth any measure of the hardship. Such terrible fear gripped in my heart when my beloved told me of the pale man he spied on the sands, but now the family has come to help. I can breathe a sigh of relief. I'm sure you wish to know precisely where to find that horrid creature, but I cannot help half so well as my beloved might. Seek him in the southeast and pray to put an end to this nightmare. Through deviled mists the hunter doth now tread, tracking the scent of the quarry others dread, and darkest night cry for a keeper, while by your side he walks the reaper. Somebody sent me a tell. I'm gonna look at it. Oh. And apologies for my effusive display, friend. I'm a poet, you see, and cannot resist putting word to the flood of emotions that accompany such a striking figure as yours. Monster! Grah! The bubble is emanating from the points that is potent and powerful. Dun, 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 dun. Neither aid you, but alas, the poet's pen is little use in battle. Of course, unless, of course, the battle involves not swords and scythes, but words. Just ask the sire of my beloved, who would even now, licking the wounds dealt by the invective verse I composed after he had the gall to forbid our union. A masterwork of scathing metaphor and subtle remonstration, alas, for all their prestations, nobles are anything but subtle in their rage. We were forced to flee, to abandon our homes with only our love for sustenance. Nevertheless, I regretted not a single moment of our life in exile. In Eorzea, we found an unexpected treasure: freedom. Freedom of the mind and freedom of the heart. Ah, but I digress. Surely you did not seek me out simply to save my life and leave with a nod and a smile. Did you wish to commission a poem? A pale man, I've encountered him whilst wandering these arid wastes in search of inspiration. I felt the gaze of something terrible, of a terrible presence upon my back, and when I turned to meet it, he was standing there, grinning like a butcher in a bullpen. He wore robes much too thick for these scorched sands, and his skin looked as if it had never been kissed by the blazing sun. Worst of all, his eyes were two bottomless pools of blood. I feared my end had come, but then he vanished as quickly as he appeared. Perhaps I've been reckless. Recent incidents make it clear that the cost of my inspiration is higher than I'm willing to pay. I shall return to my beloved, for both my safety and hers. Thank you again, my savior. Drusilla. More talking, yay! There you are. And? I got attacked, and I met a poet, and he talked a lot. Another one of the cursed minions. Well, I suppose we can take comfort in the fact that none of my family came to harm, yourself included. Well done. Speaking of which, what do you think of this family you've been thrust into? Speak freely. I haven't lived this long by taking offense to opinions that I don't want to hear. It doesn't matter what I think, does it? If you say so, I reckon you don't hate us, and that's good enough for me. End of the day, we're just a ragtag band of outcasts unfit to live in the Empire, under the Empire's boots. Yours truly included. Much as some enlightening types might tell you otherwise, people like to have a say in the life they lead. That's what separates us from those bugs over there. Yep, they're drones. To a queen. Born queens, workers, and drones. Bred into roles ingrained so deeply they wouldn't know how to live otherwise. For the glory and prosperity of the hive. But we've got it in us to be different. Might be born into fireman, soldier, and our politicking. But we can choose to walk a different path whenever the fancy should strike. It ain't in our nature to accept our lot without question. No, we have to believe in something. Put our faith in it. Only then will we deign to march in step. And indeed, faith of a savage stripe is one way to get us dancing to the same tune. Others might be compelled through faith and logic or law, intangible, invisible, yet cause enough for killing and conquering if it suits the queen. Hey, Emmett! The invaders have sullied our birthright for 8 centuries, no longer. We march for Lacus Blah. With a few righteous words, his radiant Solus Lascalvus whipped the hive into a frenzy. Once that fire is burning, the passion of the masses can't soon be quelled. What was once a wish for our home became a holy mission to spread enlightenment. Enlightenment which could not suffer such beliefs as the beastmen held. Countless scores rendered up their life on the altar of the Empire until the entire continent was united under a single Magitech fist. Hi, Emmett. I miss you. For those who still dreamed the dream of unity, a deed worthy of song, yet some awoke to see it for the tyranny it was, my grandfather, Rolus included. The talent of the Reapers passed down through bloodlines. Rolus was the best of us, the most accomplished and feared in the Order's long history. Until I came. The duty of Reapers, our role in the Hive, if you will, was to deliver our countrymen from corrupt and power-hungry tyrants. When Garlemald found religion in conquest, its appetite grew to be insatiable. Like the Void Scent. My grandfather pondered this conundrum for many sleepless nights, and then came to a decision. He would relieve Solus Lascalvus of his life. "20 years ago, he slipped into the deepest chamber of the Imperial Palace, silent as a shadow, until he could hear Emperor's beating heart. Yet when Rolus returned to me, Solus was alive and well. My grandfather, on the other hand, had the skittishness to his step, and his black hair had turned pale white. He said naught of his encounter with the Emperor, save that most powerful man in Garlemald was no man at all. Shamed in his defeat, my grandfather sought greater power. Bit by bit, he gave himself more over to the Void Scent behind his avatar. Orcus, struck when Rolus was weakest, taken his flesh and soul in one fell swoop. When he was finished, not a mote of my grandfather remained in that body. There was only Orcus. The fiend flew into a rapturous frenzy, and my family were his first victims. I remember the chill of his teeth sinking into my flesh, gnawing until they reached my very essence. How am I standing before you, then? Oh, Orcus gorged on a soul that night, but it wasn't mine. Not exactly. It was my avatar that filled his belly. Seems that was all he could stomach. Some might consider it a lucky twist of fate, but I had little time to ponder my fortune. Fled soon as I was able, his radiance never looked kindly on those trying to end his life, or their families. I wandered about for years until I settled here and started seeking out others like me, others who had awakened from the Empire's dream. Lemire's is what we call the spirit of the dead in Garlean tongue. A fitting moniker if there ever was one. Waking up from a sleep ain't unlike climbing out of the grave. I can attest to that. Son of a bleeding... Remind me not to give such a long-winded speech when the sands are blowing in my face. I'm heading back for some mail. See you at headquarters. Oh, insta-cutscene, huh? Welcome back, boss. How is the family? Shaken, but unharmed aside from some tousled hair and a mangled verse. Orcus left one of his minions behind as a gift, but Kruk made quick work of it. I always said he was a keeper. You have an eye for the fierce of heart. You told me I was an outsider the second you met me, girl. I wager he could slay Orcus all on his own. Not that we'd let him take all the glory. I mean, yeah, I could. Of course we wouldn't. We'll all be there when Orcus tries to take his prize. I don't think we'll be waiting long, either. Orcus said he'd strike when Kruk was ripe with fear and hatred and despair. Seasonings he's loath to forego. But you ain't gonna find that shit in me. I have an inkling he might try to draw out those emotions and finish off a half-eaten meal besides. Right you are. How nice did you mourn your lost avatar? The wellspring of your power. I must say, it was quite the dish. Ah, you got the death scythe. I hate you. I think not. Move so much as a finger and her head will hit the floor. Well, I mean, you're gonna kill her anyway, are you not? It'd be better to kill you and her than just have you kill her. Ooh, that's it, Kruk. That fire, I want to see it burn. I want to see it rage. I want to see the hatred seep into the depths of your soul. I shall make this Drusilla's final breath. Shall I make this Drusilla's final breath? Or this one? It's so very hard to choose. I was right not to give in to my baser instincts, to allow the thought of your taste to simmer in my mind as you and Drusilla formed a bond, a kinship even. Born from an understanding of her inconsequential ideas that you may better appreciate the bitter loss. But perhaps I shall wait a while longer. Let the flavor of your hatred mature and the tang of your malice ripen. I can make use of Drusilla yet, revel in her screams, exult in her misery. Ah, how splendid it will be. All the while, my prized piglet grow fat with All the while, my prized piglet growing fat with loathing and succulent with terror. Patience rewards the dutiful gourmand, after all. When your tantalizing flavor has fully matured, I shall return, and I shall reap my harvest. Can I just steal this scythe real quick? Goddamn void sent bastard. Soulless piece of shite. Aye, that's the spirit. Right, we need a plan. First things first, we find out where Orcus is hiding. The rest of the family should be able to help with that. In the meantime, you need to prepare. I know you're good, Crook, but we can't leave the boss's life to chance. Sharpen your skills in your scythe, then sharpen them once more. The boss can do naught against Orcus without our avatar. That means you'll have to do the heavy lifting. Of course, I'll do what I can to afford you an advantage. You can count on that. For Drusilla. Can I get my hands on him? Oh, Crook, listen. We found out where the boss is being held, but I'm warning you, the how of it isn't pretty. An envelope arrived at headquarters this morning. I opened it and inside was a finger. Shite. Inside was a letter written in blood. There's no doubting whose it was. Orcus is revealing his own cruelty. The letter said he'd be waiting for us at dusk vigil. God knows what he's going to do to her now. I've called on every able-bodied member of the family for this one. We're heading out as soon as everyone's assembled. We hear Herman, and more waiting outside. We're ready to repay the debt we owe to Drusilla with our lives if we must. With souls courageous, hearts of hardened steel, for leaders' sake, for family's ideal, into the demon's lair they soon shall tread, to end his terror, foul his reign of dread. The boss would beam with pride to see this group of cold-blooded killers. Alright, Crook. We're ready when you say the word. Word! What? Now we might not have a kill the likes of you, but we've got skills. You'll need someone to distract Orcus, right? Then you can move in for the kill while it's Beck's turn. Don't tell us to stay here with our thumbs up our arses while the boss is suffering. Herman, listen, maybe he's right. Touched a nerve, did I? I know he's right, goddammit. Doesn't mean it doesn't chafe. The boss wouldn't trust just any man with a Reaper's arts, and Crook has proven himself worthy time and again. If you're going alone, take that with you. The scythe? I did say I wanted to steal it. For the boss, no self-respecting Reaper can reap without their scythe. This is true. Now go and make Orcus rue the day he crossed into this world. That's the plan. That was the flames thing. No, that's a Garlean. What am I thinking? That is absolutely the Garlean salute. Which makes sense. They're Garleans. $525, huh? I'm only $529, so I'm barely above. There you are, Crook. My prized repast. Come forward. Double scythe action. Also, it's one of my favorite dungeons to take screenshots in. Oh, that was pretty cool, honestly. I can smell it. Your fear, your hatred. Hatred, maybe. Fear, not so much. Your tender, marbled soul. My masterpiece ripe for the slaughter. I'll savor every bite. Strip the flesh from your bones. Damn it. I really wish it would stop auto-advancing so quickly, just because they're making movements. How I hungered, how I thirst, enraptured by the thought of your sweet essence trickling down my throat. Never have I suffered in waiting, but in beholding your magnificence I see it was worth every agonizing pain. I do not expect you to leap into my maw willingly, nor did I desire it. I want you to writhe and struggle into your dying breath. I want your scythe. Wish we got the pre-order stuff already. Because I'd be using that right now. I messed that up. Very good. Defiance becomes you. Though it begins to bore me. Communio. A noise, rather. 'Tis past time you bared your belly from my blade. Praise sole purpose is to satisfy. My word, your aim is terrible. there should be nothing left of you. You should have learned to chew your food more thoroughly. Fools, the both of you. I won't die so easily. Now our feast begins. Love it. Come on. Thank you, Crook. Driven with fear, boiled with hatred, I can still smell its exquisite aroma. Just a taste. It's done. Let's get back to headquarters, Crook. I liked that fight. It was pretty neat. Yep, they're all waiting. Boss. Crook. Ow, my eyes. People clap so weird in this game sometimes. Sorry for causing you all no end of worry. And tracking me down, you risked life and limb, and for that I thank you. All of you. We didn't risk anything. We just sat here praying until Crook walked through that door. Until you and Crook walked through that door. Don't be so hard on yourself, lass. I know each and every one of you would have joined him if he hadn't talked some sense into you. We owe you our lives, boss. We owe it to you to return the favor. You're more than I deserve. Who forces them to hold dear into a personal vendetta? Who forces them they hold dear into a personal vendetta? Who leads family into their death? Arnie was no fool. He knew and accepted the risks. He placed his faith in you because he believed Orcus could be stopped. And he was right. There'll be no more victims to mourn. He helped you achieve that victory. It'd be enough for him, and it'll be enough for me. You're right. This ain't the time for sulking. Arnie would be the first to tell me that. Now's the time to honor his sacrifice, to toast those who we have lost, those still by our side. And to thank the brave souls that led us here. That means you, Crook, much as I'd like to take credit for Orcus' demise. It was a long, bloody road, but this marks the end of your first assignment as a Reaper. And what an assignment it was, huh? You might not be Garlean, but you tackled your task with a singular resolve that impressed the most hardened soldier. I'm proud to call you my family. We may have found the Lemures to provide a home for wayward Garleans, but we're not so different, Garleans and Eorzeans. No great revelation in that, but moments like this help put it all in perspective. This family was a dream that gave us the strength to survive in a strange land. And the beautiful thing about dreams, if you ask me, is they can change. They can be better. So I say that, from this day forward, the Lemures will be united not by origin, but by purpose. Brothers and sisters bound by shared convictions. I don't think anyone will object to that, boss. The Lemures are ready to welcome people of all stripes. Starting with you, Crook. Though it was all but official already, huh? Aye, here's to the birth of a new family member, brother. Hey, brother. Back to jazz. What a day it's been, huh? I hope it'll be a while before I have occasion to yammer on that much again. Too much talking's liable to put me in a sentimental mood, or worse, make me dewy-eyed. So let's leave it at that, huh? You'll ever get weary of the weight of the world on your shoulders, now that our doors will always be open. And if you need an ear to bend, a shoulder to weep on, or a stiff bottle to jump inside, I'll be right here, brother. Shroud and Shroud Gauge. Heck yeah! The Death Gauge is now unlocked.